What's up, everybody? We're doing something a little different today. Instead of this being Anything Goes or Legends of the Fall, we are doing the Neisha Strong podcast. This is Neisha's episode, and I want everybody to listen and give her your undivided attention. So, Neisha, welcome to your own podcast today.
Thank you for making my dreams come true. No, thank you for giving me my own podcast. No, thanks for letting me be a guest here today. It means a lot.
I'm the guest, honestly. So, I'll just ask you some questions and you can go as far as you want to with them. Okay. We've been trying to get this together for a little minute, but our schedules kept overlapping. But
right.
I want to start off by just asking, how are you? Like, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm cool. I'm maintaining. A little crazy mentally, but every day I wake up and I'm able to do the things that people aren't. It's always a good day for me. So I'm pretty cool.
Cool. So for people who don't know, people may not know, you have stage 4 breast cancer.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. And when were you diagnosed with breast cancer initially?
In 2018. In 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time. And then I just got diagnosed again in August with stage 4 breast cancer. So stage 3 breast cancer, that was 2018. 2017, I was feeling a lump in my boob. And I went to my primary care doctor to get it checked out. And because I was a young African-American woman, he attributed it to saying that my boobs were dense and Black women normally have lumps in their boobs and stuff like that. So he said due to my age that it was nothing to worry about. So I didn't really worry about it. But I did, at the time, I asked for a referral to get, he said you can get it drained if you want to. So I did ask for a referral to get it further looked into. Because at the time, it was really hard for me to get off work because I had Crohn's as well. And I had already, I used to be sick all the time from Crohn's. And so it was impossible for me to just ask my boss for a day off, to go and check up her health or whatever. And so, excuse me, I ended up going to the hospital for a headache one day, and I just happened to ask the doctor at the hospital, can you take a look at this lump in my boob? And I had big boobs, so it was the lump was inside of my boob, then I could just feel it outside. I could feel it outside of my boob, but it wasn't it wasn't anything that I could look at and become concerned about it because I only saw a portion of it. So when he checked it out there at the hospital, the doctor, he was actually yes, you need to have this looked at. And this was 3 months later from when I had saw my primary care doctor, and he said it was nothing to worry about. And so I ended up getting a referral. I asked him because I knew it was so crazy. I knew I wasn't going to get a chance to get off work. So I asked him, I said, is it possible if you could get me in at the breast center today? And he was like, that's going to be near impossible, and it had to be God because I got an appointment that day, to go to the breast center. And I did a mammogram, and when it was time for me to go and get tested, I was nervous because it was not, it was a turnaround. It was from nothing to, you need to go and have this checked out, right, or whatever. And so it was so weird because they were doing the ultrasound, and just to talk amongst the nurses let me know that it was something wrong. They weren't saying anything to me, but they was did you see that? Or did you see that? Or go back here, go back there. And so it was I was really getting worried or whatever. And so it was crazy because I think because it was an emergency visit, I was the last person. And they were looking really concerned, so the doctor came in and he was we did see some stuff and we're going to have to biopsy or whatever. So I got the biopsy. Long story short, I ended up getting the biopsy. The results take 3 days from then. So it was on the weekend. So I had to wait like 5 days instead of 3 days or whatever. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's no way I can have breast cancer, they already said I'm too young or whatever. It's just my boobs are dense or whatever. So that's what I'm thinking, like nothing. Like people are like worried. Like I put it up on Facebook, like y'all gotta get a mammogram, I had to have a biopsy, like pray for me, I don't have breast cancer. Like I am not thinking I'm gonna have breast cancer. Like nothing. Like my dad died of cancer, but I'm still not thinking I won't have breast cancer or whatever. So the day comes, I go in. Well, I didn't even want my mom or my grandmom to come with me because I did start getting scared, and I was like, well, if it's a bad outcome, I don't want them going crazy, because you know how parents and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world, and I'm like, no, I need to keep my sanity or whatever. So I actually lied and told them that my results were the next day, and because I wanted to go by myself or whatever. But a really good friend of mine, she and her husband ended up driving down here. It's like, no way, you can't go by yourself or whatever. So, and also I had a friend who was an oncologist who I worked for. I used to clean their building, and she came with me as well. And so I get my news. Hey, Taneisha, we looked at, I had 2 lumps. One of the lumps, so she tells me the first lump that they bust, it was just water. So I'm like, okay, cool. Right. So she's like, but this other lump that we saw is the size of a softball. So I had a lump the size of a softball in my boob. Didn't know it. I felt the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like the inside, like my boob, like how your boobs are firm, so it's like you don't know, like it wasn't like a whole bunch of lumps, it was just one big lump. So I didn't feel it. Like I just felt like on the side, like the side boob. Like I just thought I had a mean side boob, but it was that cancer though. Gotcha. So so I get, so she's like, that other lump is stage 3 carcinoma, and it's estrogen driven. So basically I have stage 3B breast cancer, and it's driven by estrogen. So I immediately think back to my birth control. I was on the patch, the Ortho Ever patch. And it's crazy because it did used to make, the reason why I like being on it so much is because it did make my boobs fuller. Like it made my boobs look like really pretty or whatever. So it was like the estrogen, it was like everything just came back to me. It was like, okay, I know exactly where this came from, and it's like, damn, this birth control just killed me, try to kill me or whatever. So I get that news, and I didn't even cry right away. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was like, what? I was like, what? My friend and my doctor friend, she's like, no, she's too young, and I'm just like, dang, I got cancer. It's not really hitting me or whatever. I ended up crying before I left out the room. I didn't like the procedure that they had though. So they tell you the worst news you could possibly get in your life, and then they make you sit in the office for like 2 hours while they make all these appointments for you.
That's torture.
Torture. So I'm like sitting here wanting to blow my brains out with crying and tears, and you sitting here making me listen to all these appointments that you have to schedule for me and wait through them. So that was a pretty long day, but it wasn't as hard as people think it was for me. Like I immediately jumped into like, all right, I gotta get my shit together. I can't let myself get down. And I think that comes from me taking care of my dad when he died from cancer. It was like, I knew all the things that would take me down. If I got depressed or in my feelings, like this was not gonna be a good thing for me. So I just tried to stay positive, and I got my team together. I let my, what circle I had back then, I let them know, what was going on. I let my family know, and of course I let Facebook know, and I didn't know what type of journey I had ahead of me. So I just tried to prepare as best I could, but yeah, just coming to know that I had cancer, it was pretty unbelievable. So this is like, I'll go take it day by day. I'm gonna make sure I don't get down, and I'm fight,
Yeah, so you talked about your dad having cancer. What type did he have? If you don't mind me asking.
That's cool. He had lymphoma type T. It's rare and it's aggressive. It's an aggressive type cancer. I believe it came from the Roundup. My dad was, he did a lot of landscape. And I really think it was from that. I didn't come to know about that until after my dad died or whatever. But just me hearing all the effects and, you know, knowing that he worked that type of job. And it just came all of a sudden. Like, it was crazy because I was working at Ralph Lauren, and my dad, he was saying that he was allergic to some medicine, and it ended up being that he had stage 4 cancer. They told him he had 6 to 9 months. Then it went from 6 to 9 months to 6 months. Then my daddy literally died in like 3 months. Just seeing him fight, I researched a lot, and I did a lot. Like, I took care of his, you know, doctor's visits and stuff like that. You know, I would be the person with the information. When he went home, like, I would, you know, from my job from Ralph Lauren, I did transition to my job at What's the Same State. And they allowed me all the time I needed to take off to take care of my dad. So I took all the time off and took care of my dad. And it went by really fast. My dad, he didn't have a lot of energy to do anything. Like, it tore me up because my daddy would be like balled up like a baby. Like, and I'm talking about this is a daddy who will work through the flu or anything, you know. So it kind of tore me up because I was there to see every change, you know, in him. And it was like, he didn't get a chance to try to even live his life before all of this happened. Like, it was like every week the chemo was taking him down and down. You know, he'd tell me like he'd see different things. He could hardly talk. Like, the chemo would mess up your mouth. It messed up my mouth too. So I understood, like, he could hardly talk. Like, I had to feed him like popsicles and stuff like that or whatever. And like I said, me and my dad, we didn't have a close relationship growing up. Like, my dad didn't raise me, but I always knew where my dad was. You know, my dad always knew where I was. And I feel like it's a lot, like, relationships were like that a lot for my friends in the neighborhoods or whatever. So I still love my dad. Like, when we were adults, our relationship got closer. So it was like, even though we didn't have a relationship in our childhood, like, I really thank God that we got to know each other and hang out and stuff as we got older, because we were really close and we understood each other better. And he had my younger brothers. They're 8 and 9 right now. So yeah, they look just like him too. It's so funny. Like, my daddy, oh my gosh, he loves young girls. Like, not in a pedophilish way.
Right. Clean
the ones that give him consent.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was just like my uncle, who's my dad's best friend, my dad stayed with him. And so for the rest of his time, we basically took turns, like, taking care of him. And, like, that's like a true, genuine friend. Like, my uncle, like, he never said it was too much for him. He never said my dad had to get out or anything. Like, anybody need to come see him, it was like no problem, like, whatsoever. Like, and he's not even my dad's blood brother. They grew up together, like, running together, you know. So it's just like, I'll never forget that, like, you know. So I definitely need some friends like that. But yeah, so my dad died.
And what year was this?
2015.
2015.
Yeah, my dad died 2015. He died in May, actually. And it's crazy because that was a crazy year, because my brother on my dad's side, who looks just like, he graduated from NC State. He's played basketball for NC State. He speaks 4 languages, and he had like 2 or 3 degrees. But 10 days before my dad died, my brother got into a motorcycle accident, and he was in a coma for 4 months. So my dad didn't know that his oldest son was in a coma, and my brother didn't know that my dad was dying. So, well, he knew that my dad was dying, but he didn't know, like, how soon my dad was dying. So it was so crazy because my brother's mom, she's very sweet. She's a nurse too, but like I said, I'm the oldest of my dad's kids and my mom's kids, and it's 12 all together. So it's like a tribe, you know. But it's like, I'm the, like, everybody calls me like, Neisha, I need you to do this, you know, Neisha, I need you to do that, which wasn't a burden, like, not in a burden term, but like, when it happened, you know, of course. Well, it's crazy because when it happened, a girl called me. I had no idea who this girl was, and she was like, I'm looking for your brother. They say he's been in an accident or whatever. So that's how I'm literally, you know, getting this information. And so I'm calling his mom and telling her, and this is news to her. Like, she hadn't heard anything. And so, like, she calls me back, and I'm on the phone with the girl, but the mom calls me back, and she's like screaming on my voicemail. And she's like, Willie's been hurt in a really bad motorcycle accident, and we don't think he's gonna live. So it's like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And of course, I still want to be there for my brother, but here's my dad dying. So we're up going to Chapel Hill to see my brother. He's on all, he's just on this machine and all these, everything hooked up to him, like everything. And it was really sad. Like I thought my brother was gonna die. Like the doctors, like they were like, it doesn't look good or anything, So dad ended up dying. Never knew his son was in the hospital. And so my brother ended up coming out the hospital after 4 months, but his brain was like, it's weird because his brain could like go from, he doesn't know I'm his sister and he's trying to date me, to, hey sis, I love you today, like how are you doing? So it's just like any day you could expect something different, because his brain is like, his mind just got messed up like that, So I tried, it's my brother, so I tried to be there for him as much as I could. You know how my dad would, because like I said, children, no, but he'll always find a way, as adults and stuff, to be there for us. So I did that, and it was hard because here I am, another guy who's supposed to be masculine, one day I was supposed to go see my brother and I had to do something for myself, ended up being late. And here's my brother like crazy, like Challenger, I'm in the car riding with him, I'm cussing him out because you're driving too crazy. Like, bruh, chill out, like, chill out. I'm talking about like nice looking, ladies like him and everything. And it's just like, from that to me being late to pick him up one day, like he was just crying. Like, sis, I thought you wasn't gonna come pick me up. Like I never thought I'd see my brother like in that light. It just made me look at him as like a baby, So it was just like, I kind of have another kid depending on me to always show up for them, But it's just like, I have so much on my plate. Like I have no idea what to do, And it's just like, my sister next to me, she's in Atlanta, and then my sister after that, she's a baby, she's, at the time, she's 16, 17, So it's like, I literally am like, kind of like the glue that's holding the pieces, it's keeping everybody together, I don't feel like everything's on me. I feel like everyone did their part, and helped, but it was just like, there was a lot, from losing my dad to having to potentially lose my brother. But even though we didn't lose him, we lost a lot of him, in that, So it was a hard year, and I just think that was preparation for what God knew was ahead for me,
A test.
Yeah, basically a test. And I think he just wanted me to see like how you should be there for people, because we have a friend in common that got sick with MS.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I tried to be there for her. Like in the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. And it drained me, because not from her, she didn't do anything. But I was trying to do so much as a friend, because I thought, that was what I was supposed to do, like take on as much as I could. But I was really doing more than I could, because I needed somebody to take me on,
Yeah.
But, excuse me, and when I had to back up, that was like one of the worst feelings I ever felt, because I felt like I was backing up from helping my friend who had just become disabled, and it was just like, why would you back up from a friend when they need you the most, So that it kind of took a toll on me until I got sick, and I realized like, hey, you can't, no matter how much you want to help, like if it's not in you, or if you have to take care of yourself, like you can only do what you can. Like you trying to be there and create this, you can't create how you're going to be there for the people, because you have to let people tell you how to be there for them. Like when I got cancer, my friends were just like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And I didn't necessarily need all of that. I just needed to know that, if I couldn't get up, that I had somebody to come pick me up out the bed or something like that. But I didn't need anyone around me every day doing something for me. Like, so it was just like the death of my dad and what my brother went through. I'm just like, it definitely was preparation, because I wouldn't know like what type of mindset to put myself in, because I wouldn't know, what I'm looking at, but just going through with them, I was able to see, that it takes a lot of strength, a lot of laughs, and just determination to beat whatever you're going through. So
I got you on
yeah.
that. So I've known you
Forever.
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 Let's go back
Yeah.
to the early years, your childhood, because your childhood was different.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that. So
Yeah.
give us a look back at how things were growing up for you.
Well, growing up for me, I went into foster care at an early age. At the age of 10, my mom was a drug abuser, and like I said, my dad, he wasn't really around. Like, I knew where he was, but he wasn't really taking care of me or anything like that. So at the age of 10, myself and my brother, who's right up under me, we went to live with my aunt. Actually, it was still labeled foster care, but went to live with my aunt, and it was funny because the week before, I had a younger brother. He was 5 at the time. I was 10. And his dad came to get him from West Virginia. And it's so funny because, like, I was always like the mom type figure because I was a big sister. So, like, in school, I got to fight for them and everything. So, it's like always me or whatever. So, my brother's dad came down. And at the time, we're kids. So, we kind of know what's going on, but you really don't know what's going on. So, he came down to get my brother. And I was really sad. Like, me and my brother, we were crying because we were so tight. And we knew that my brother was getting ready to leave. We knew his dad was getting ready to take him. So, but we didn't know why or whatever. So, my brother's like, they lied to him. They told him they was going to take him to the store to get some bubble gum. So he's telling us like a little grown man, like, don't cry. I'm just going to the store to get some bubble gum. I'll be right back or whatever. So he left and he never came back or whatever. His dad took him or whatever. So, and that hurt me because I really love my brother. So I think that was the time when his dad realized my mom was on drugs or whatever. So we didn't know what's going on. We just knew that my brother was gone. So like a week later, we were sitting on the steps. I was living in gardens. I remember me, my grandma, my brother, and my mama, we were sitting on the steps. And they were explaining, so I don't even remember all the words. I just know we had some black trash bags with our stuff in it or whatever. And they were telling us we had to go somewhere. Like I said, I don't remember the words, but I remember this lady, this white lady, she had curly hair. She came to pick us up. And I remember her name, Suzette Freeze. She was from social services. And I hated that lady. I hated that lady so much because I feel like she was the reason why I got taken away from my mom. So we went to foster care. We went to live with my aunt for a while. My aunt, she was pretty good, but I had this resentment in me because I felt like I hear people talking about the truth about my mom, but I really think it was like people saying negative things about my mom. So it was like I shut down for a long time and I didn't really like people who talk bad about my mom because I didn't understand that they were trying to help me, but all I heard was them talking bad about my mom. So I grew up and in high school, I ended up having to go into actual foster home, into actual group home because things weren't working out with my aunt the way, that they should have or whatever. And so, how you start smelling yourself or whatever, so it was part, you're a teenager. So that was a part of it. I ended up, seeing, things that I didn't want to deal with or whatever. Not necessarily saying that no one did anything to me, but it was just like, I know what type of life I want to live. I want to be closer to my grandma or whatever. So long story short, I ended up going to a group home. Go to a few group homes. And it's crazy because usually when you go to group homes, it's like filled with children. Well, the stereotype, because I'm a big advocate for foster care and group homes and stuff. Most of the time, children are in there, you think, for behavioral issues. So here I am in here with a group full of kids who have behavioral issues, and all I need is somewhere to live. I just don't have a mom or a home that I can go to. My grandmother, she's always been there, but at the time she was an alcoholic, like going to the drink house. I mean, the term is alcoholic, but she did a wonderful job with us being that. She was functioning. But the terms for me to be able to go home with her was that she had to stop drinking.
Gotcha.
And she did. And so I stayed in the group homes for a while, and like my high school teachers hated it. Coach Akins, I used to have to get this paper signed, y'all, like to make sure I was going to all the classes or whatever. And he hated, he was like, you're not a prisoner. Like, I don't want to sign this anymore. Like, I hate that you have to come in and get this signed. Like, you're a prisoner. He's like, you already don't deserve to be, you know, here in this. They already pick you up in this ugly white van. Like, you know, because it's like, everybody knew you were in a group home because you had to get picked up in this white van, you know. You had to get your papers signed and stuff like that. Yeah, so in high school, I actually, it's crazy. High school, I actually borrowed a dress from Bridget for prom. I had to go to prom from the group home. I didn't get permission because I used to go home with Tamika and Lisa them every weekend. Like, so I used to get to go home with them. That was like a relief. Their parents like knew I was in the group home, so they would let me come home with them every weekend or whatever. Yeah, so I ended up having, I borrowed a dress from Bridget, and I forget who did I don't know who did my makeup, but Stefan was going with Tamika at the time. And he was so sweet, man. It made me cry because we went to CVS and like, I didn't have anything, y'all. Like I didn't have anything because I was in a group home. So like I had nothing prepared for prom. Like all they would literally pay for literally was the ticket to prom. Like everything else, I had nothing. And so Stefan, like I forget who did my makeup, but we went to CVS and like I didn't have an eyeliner. And here comes Stefan walking out of CVS with his eyeliner in his hand. And he was like, man, I heard you need an eyeliner. And man, that meant so much to me. Like, we've been friends ever since. Like, that's like my dog. Like, he, you know, just like most guys wouldn't even think about that. You know, like, don't nobody care if she needs an eyeliner, like, you know, or whatever. So when I was in high school, I wasn't really hanging. Like, I was known and I had friends, but I wasn't really in the cliques. Because I was literally like trying to help raise my family and trying to get myself out of a group home. So like when people had freedom to go places on the weekend and stuff, I didn't. I had to stay, you know, either in a group home or like I'll get a pass to go to my friend's house and do, you know, whatever they would do on the weekend or whatever. That's the only way I could get, I can get like, and mind you, it's levels in group homes. So I'm on the top level immediately, you know, and it's like top level, you're supposed to be able to do whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? But I can't because I don't have, you know, I don't have places to go, you know, I don't have, you know, people to be with or anything like that. So I end up being able to, after court date after court date, so like in the group home, they used to always tell me, pack your stuff, you're gonna get to go home with your grandma. This happened like 3 times. Like I pack my stuff and they'll cancel court. So I'll be crying like all day in the group home. Like I just want to go home. Cause like I said, it's people in here with behavior issues. I just don't have anywhere to live or whatever. I had some people who tried to like adopt me. I even had someone who we know who tried to adopt me. But to this day, I don't care what nobody say. That man wanted the mess with me. Like that man, the only reason that man wanted to adopt me with his family was to mess with me. Like, and I don't care what nobody say. Like, we went through something with that. Oh, I thought you told me something. Sorry. We went through something with that, and I was just like, I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. And even like how the man carries himself now, I know. You know, like that's what that was. So I danced for my last year in high school and my first year in college. And it's like, it just put me like on a different level. Like I wasn't hanging out, you know, with everybody. I was trying to make money to survive. I know I could have probably, well, I had other jobs. I worked at Wendy's, I worked at Arigatos. I got fired from Arigatos actually when I was 16 for stealing money. For stealing money, sorry. Well, I helped steal some money.
It's cool.
But, sorry. I've changed. I work in accounting now, so I've changed. But yeah, Arigatos, yeah, boy, but yeah. So I had to make money, so I went out and I danced. I escorted a little bit too. I basically learned a lot about men at an early age. I learned how to get what I needed from them. I learned how to play them, and it kind of turned me into like a dude too, because it's like, I'm not typical, like, I'm not a typical wholesome female. Like, I have a brain, you know, like I said, in high school, I had the most awards and scholarships in our class. So don't get me wrong, like, I'm not a dummy at all. But just the way that I chose to help myself, you know, was a little different. And I'm not ashamed of it, like, because it's so many more people out here who have done it and done it the wrong way, but they never tell the story, you know, they never tell, like, that you have to, sometimes you have to go through some ugly stuff to make a beautiful outcome. Like, I didn't think I would do half the stuff I did, but man, it just woke me up, because it was like, nobody's here. You have to take care of you, world. Like, one day I was living in the gardens, and our friends, she had a car, Young had a car, and they all, you know how we all used to ask for a ride. And it was one night, it was late, my little brother, he was at the house and he was hungry. I was like late. I don't know if you remember, it's called a 2 o'clock store. It was past the gardens. Like, you go down to the bottom of the gardens, but you go out, it's like on Main Street, the store all the way down there, because it stayed open later than the store in the garden. So it was like after 12, because the 2 o'clock store was still open. They call it 2 o'clock store because it stayed open at 2 o'clock. So it's raining like and it was like, I don't know why my mom and my grandma couldn't get my brother something to eat. I think maybe it was like a liquor house thing. Maybe they were at the liquor house or something. Like, my brother, he was crying. He was like, he was hungry, and he was a little boy. Like, he was only like 6, you know? And so I was in high school. It was late. It was nighttime. It was raining and everything. It was like a movie. Like, I was walking down to the 2 o'clock store, and Young was coming like up the street, but they didn't know it was me because it was dark, you know, and it was raining, and they all, I don't know where it's coming from, but like, literally, I'm walking to the store to help my brother get some food, and like, they ride past, and like I said, it was like a movie. Like, the water literally splashed up on me, like, from the car or whatever, and I'm just walking, and no lie to you, I don't know why that night the 2 o'clock store was not open. So like, my whole way back home, I'm just like crying, like, the store closed, how am I gonna get my brother something to eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's crying, but then like, aside from that, it hurt my feelings that my friends were in this car, you know what I'm saying, who could have took me, but they didn't know it was me, you know, so it wasn't like it was their fault. So it was just like, you know, why am I in this situation? You know, it was just like a moment of like, dang, like, this is really like how I'm growing up, you know, or whatever. So it just made me want to go harder. And so like, that's why I like got into dancing and escorting, because it was just like, that was the easiest way for me to get money. Like, men, like, I had a man who used to ask me to show him my boobs. Like, when I needed to go to school in college, and once I'm saying, he used to be like, show me your boobs, I'll get you a ride to school. Like, it was like, I was naive at first to the men. Then I started learning how to play them, like play them back, like how they play me. Like, you know, so it was just like, it was like kind of me, like, I've learned a man, so I'm going to try to become him and still stay womanly, you know, because it was just like, everything you do, from jobs to any type of connection, if it was a man involved, it was like something sexually. I don't know if it was like, because I was a nice looking girl, but it just seemed like whenever you needed something from a man, it was like always that sexual intent behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I had to learn how to play, you know, the same type of games that they played with me, you know? So, and I never forget one of my bosses from my accounting firm, like when I got older, he told me, he was like, you know what? He was like, people don't know this, Taneisha, but you have street smarts and book smarts. He was like, you're gonna go far with that. And it was crazy because I was like, I wonder if he know, you know what I'm saying, like how I be playing people or whatever. But he did. Like, he was like, you have street smarts and book smarts or whatever. So, it was hard. Like, you gotta take care of the people who come behind you. And like, I did everything I could to help my brothers out and just to make a life for myself. So, I didn't smoke weed for a long time. Like, I didn't smoke weed till I got with a guy when I was like 26. And it was like, he used to smoke in front of me every day. And I'd be like, nah, I'm good. But then one day I just started smoking it. So peer pressure is a bitch. Like, you know, you have to have your willpower, but peer pressure is a bitch, you know. So, yeah, my childhood was just a lot of experiences and just a way for me to grow and not have shame, because I saw a lot of people going through what me and my family was going through. They're just not telling their story about it. You know, a lot of people went through it hard. A lot of, you know, having to go knock on your friend's door, like my mom said, because she borrowed some food. You know, like, that's embarrassing. And so I always want to put myself in a position where I'm not going to be doing that, you know. And a village really raised me, like literally, like the neighborhood, the teachers, my friends. Like a village literally raised me. So that's why I believe in giving back, like with kids and stuff like that. Like that's super big for me because I did not do it on my own, you know. I went through a lot to do it, but childhood was adulthood for me. It was adulthood for me. And I just saw this lady, she's a healer. And we were having like a counseling moment and she's like, take me back to 10-year-old Taneisha or whatever. And so I'm like taking her back or whatever. And she's like, I know what's wrong with you. She's like, you never got to be a kid. Nobody ever took care of you. Like you're crying now, like you have cancer now, and you just want somebody to take care of you. Like they didn't take care of you before, you know, when you were younger. And that hit me because I think now that's why I don't like people around me, or I don't like people coming to chemo with me, because it's like the only person who was supposed to take care of me and all of this is my mama. Because I don't like being baby. I don't like people, you know, all this or all that. But I just want to like, one day I just want to like have a girl's day, like where I could go and get like a pedicure with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like people always feel like, oh, why you act like this? You don't know, bro. You know, I could go into some deep shit, but I'm not trying not to be out here making my mom look bad. I'm just trying to tell people like where my mental comes from, you know, where my hustle comes from, where my love for children and my family comes from, because it's like, my mama didn't give us that, you know, and I want my brothers to feel love, because I feel like Black men, I feel like they go wrong in the world from not having that love, that motherly love, like that nurturing and stuff. Like, yeah, I tell my brothers sometimes, like, I had to get it out the mud, you know, y'all get it out the mud, y'all dudes, but you also have to understand, like, they need that nurturing, you know. And I've always tried to be the stand-up person. Like I said, I'm not perfect, and I've done some things the wrong way, you know, in other people's eyes, but it's all been like for my family and to show my brothers that like we can't be limited by, you know, how we grew up. You know, we have to use that strength and put it towards some things that's going to help us, you know, in life or whatever. So it's crazy, you know, because you never know what kind of cards you're dealt, you know. And you would think, I thought I've been struggling all year. I mean, all my life. And I thought I was gonna have like this big break in the end, like where I'm struggling and I've been bouncing from struggle to struggle. Like, all right, here's my time. But it's like, no, like I'm struggling and I'm struggling and I'm struggling and I still want to die, you know? So it's like, never, I hate people that cliche stuff like, you've been going through for so long, like it's time for your breakthrough. Like, some people don't get no breakthrough. Like, I'm supposed to die. Like, but I've been struggling to live, like, all my life. And it's like, everybody thinks you're supposed to have a break. And like, even I thought I was supposed to have a break. Like, I'm going through that stuff with my dad. You know, my brother, like, just getting sick with Crohn's. Like, I thought that was bad enough. But it's just like, my homegirl said it to me and it seemed so real. Like, she didn't see me and she was like, Neisha, man, I just knew you was gonna be okay. Like, you been struggling with, you know, you bounce back from everything. And it's like, why can't I bounce back from this? You know? Like, I remember back from when I went through chemo and I was deemed cured, like, I was feeling guilty. I was like, don't celebrate me this Breast Cancer Awareness Month because I don't need any help anymore. Like, I'm past it. But like, now it's like, I hate to see people. I don't hate that people are being cured, but it hurts me when I see people, somebody else say, like, I rang the bell or something, because it's like, damn, like, my shit back. And it ain't no cure for mine, you know? So it's just like, I have so many questions, but I understand I may not get the answer to them. So it's just like, you have to learn to live your life the best you can, because no matter how much you struggle, or no matter how much you're good to people, or how much you try to let people know that, hey, you know, you try to inspire people, try to let people know anything good, like your life, you know, whatever cards you dealt. Like, it don't matter how nice you are, how cool you are, how pretty you are, how many food drives you did. Like, your life is your life to live and die. And I didn't think, like, it's just like, I was walking the other day and I was just like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to take no footsteps no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple stuff that you don't even think you would think about. Like, my friends hit me and they're wondering how you doing. And I'm just like, to be honest, I'm happy that I get to see my friends like live full lives, get married, you know, have kids and stuff like that, because I don't get, you know, I don't get to do that, you know. And it hurts, but it's like, I can't live my days like that, because like even with chemo, I say I don't want to take chemo because I know how it's gonna make me feel. It's gonna make me feel worse. So I can't put myself down because it's gonna make me feel worse. I'm not gonna progress like that. I'm not gonna get to live life by sulking and just wondering, you know, why do other people get to live and not have to die, you know? So it's strength. Like, people say I'll be balled up in a corner somewhere, but nah, like, you wanna live, you know? You wanna do, when I went skydiving, like, I was like, oh, like, you know, it was like, oh, you about to die? Oh, okay, I got something for you. Sorry, let me go do this. And it's just like, every symptom I feel from like this old lady cough that I have, like, when my body's down, it's just like, nobody knows. Like, I hate that, because it's like, I don't know when my last hospital visit comes, you know. Like, I just don't know. Like I said, they told my dad he had 6 to 9 months. My dad ended up living for 3 months. Yeah. So it's like, so many people have so many fakes and cliche things that they say, but it's like, you're not living this. Right. You're not. And I appreciate the faith, and I appreciate the prayers and the love, but the reality of it is, every day I don't know what I want to do with my life, because I don't know what's going to happen with my life. You know, people tell me to prepare for a miracle, but the doctors tell me to prepare to die in 2 years, you know? So it's like, who do you hold on to? Right. I went through chemo. They told me everything to make everything fine. I got stage 4. So it's like, it's hard to believe this natural person over here, because the people who got all the technology and stuff over here told me what they was gonna do, and it didn't happen. Here I am, stage 4. So it's like, when people think you're giving up, it's just like confusion. You don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to save my life. I don't know how to let people try to save my life, because the people who I let save my life and put it in their hands the first time, like, here I am again. They didn't do it.
Right. Now, talk about that part, because I don't think people know that part of them pretty much giving you the option to stop chemo, because they felt like you were cured at one point. Tell that story so people will know, you know, what you mean by that.
So like, when you go through chemo, it's like, you ring the bell, and a lot of people take that as you're cured. No, the bell for ringing, the chemo bell is to ring and show that you're done with chemo. It doesn't mean that you're healed from cancer. After my chemo and I rang the bell, I still had to go through 38 radiations. So, yeah. So it's like, a lot of people think that people who ring the bell, they're cured, and that's not the case. When I rang the bell, I had a milliliter of cancer still left in me. And my doctor told me it was cool. Like, you could be done right now if you want to, because you only have 1 tiny milliliter. I actually made a video about it. And I had a milliliter of cancer left in me. And as aggressive as my cancer is, I feel like that was a big mistake on my doctor's part. Ended up coming back, spreading, ended up getting a time crunched in. But then they realized that, you know, they could give me some medicine and everything will be okay. Now I'm at stage 4 and there's no cure. So you could go through all the chemo you want to, but if that cancer is still in you, you're not cured, you're not healed. My cancer is estrogen driven, and So I'm a woman. My body automatically pumps estrogen. So it's like me just being a woman, period, is killing me. You know, it's like, so I have to go through, like, I have to get injections to start my hormones, to start my ovaries from producing any estrogen. And I take a chemo pill. But yeah, like, that ringing the bell, that doesn't always mean that someone's cured from cancer. I definitely wasn't. And even though I have social media, you know, and I let you guys know a lot of stuff, some stuff I choose to leave alone because no matter how much I explain, some people just don't get it. Some people are just going to believe what they want to believe. You know, some people are just going to take it how they want to take it. So I don't always, you know, and also when I got that first 24 months, when I first got that first 24 month sentence, it was like, I was telling my close friends, like, nah, I'm never telling them this. They'll kill me. Like, they'll try to put me in the grave. You know, when you tell people you're supposed to die at a certain time, they want you to be dead at that time. Like, if not before. I'm expecting somebody to look on my memory and be like, it's about time for Taneisha to die. Or, damn, Taneisha was lying because she ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the reality of stuff. Like, that's what people want. And it's like, I started on social media for awareness, but it was like some people took on my story as something personal and made, you know, and they didn't necessarily make it a positive thing. They made it a negative thing. You know, a lot of people say, I want attention. I was getting attention before I had cancer.
Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
I want to say something. That's ignorant as fuck. And for the people who do that stupid shit, because, you know, we do look and see, you can go to hell.
Yes, I second that. Yeah. But like I said, I was getting attention before. Like, I had a good job, making $20 an hour. Like, I had amazing breasts. Like, who wants to cut off their boobies and live a life of financial uncertainty and take chemo? I don't even think you can get chemo unless a doctor deems you necessary to get chemo. But yeah.
People are ignorant.
Yeah, like, who wants to fake all that? Like, I'd give anything to get my boobies back. Like, I don't want no fake ones, but my real ones, what? Yes, like, no, I don't want cancer. I don't want to be dying. Like, I know I look good right now, and I thank God. But if you would like to trade your good days for my bad days, when my ass is hurting and I can't hardly sleep, or I can't breathe, or I'm in intensive care because chemo has depleted all of my good cells and bad cells, and I have to figure out where my strength's gonna come from when it's not coming from the Lord, you know, like, you can have all of that. Like, the disability, you can have all of the problems, you can have all of the letdowns, you can have all of the disloyalty. Honey, you can have all of that. Like, I was getting attention before, and it was on some I love you, Neisha, like, type stuff. So I didn't need to go and create this whole cancer situation. Not one time, but 2 times.
Who would do that?
Who does that? I mean, I guess y'all just want people to look like the little alien when they going through. Like, I did the first time. So I feel like God knows what I'm going through the second little, what's the Men in Black alien that was in the man's head. I swear I was looking like the alien when I was on chemo the first time. Oh my gosh, it was like, I mean, it was, and the thing is, I didn't care about that though, because I knew and felt what I was going through. Like, you see, I'll take my pictures with my hair like looking like Eddie Munster. Like, I didn't care because I wanted to show people this is real. Like, and it is real. Like, no matter who you are, no matter how cool you are, no matter what you do, like I said, like, you can't just wake up. I can't wake up and say I don't have cancer no more. Like, I can wake up every day and say I don't want to have cancer anymore. But I can't wake up and say, I'm gonna live longer because I want to. Like, I can't do any of that. I have to live in my purpose, and I have to be happy with how I'm living. Like, I have to do my best. If I choose to give up with chemo, I'm not giving up. I want quality of life. Like, I've never appreciated so much stuff, and like small stuff in life, than I have now. You know, like I said, I was just grateful just to be walking the other day, like just to walk and see the trees and stuff. And you don't get it. Like, I have so many dreams, like it's crazy. I be having dreams like I'm in the hospital and it's like my last days or whatever. And I'm like, my head and shit can move, but like nothing else can move. And I'm just like, all right, God, I'm about to break out this cancer, but I can't, and like I die. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can have all the willpower you want in the world, but if it's meant for you to leave this earth, how God has prepared for you to leave this earth, like, that's it. And I'm just trying to enjoy my time and myself here. Like, I know there's going to be a point where I probably look like what I'm going through. And I want to enjoy the moments where I don't look like what I'm going through. Because to be honest, my first time through chemo, I didn't even wear makeup like that, you know, unless it was like a photo shoot and stuff. And like, even though I know makeup isn't major or anything, because I got so used to not wearing it since COVID or whatever, but it's just like, you have those womanly moments where you want to dress up, you want to go out, you know, you want to appreciate life and live like how you're used to. Because it's like, when I started chemo, it's like something always wrong. I always had to cancel an appointment. I always had to cancel something with a friend because it's like some kind of sickness has come because my immune system's low. So it's like, I don't get to do anything. And so when I got diagnosed with stage 4, that's why I was trying to do a lot of stuff like Puerto Rico and skydiving, because it was just like, I don't know when I'm going to be limited to what I can do. And I don't know when I get that limitation, how long it's going to last. And so, you know, something happened to me where I have to be in a hospital bed for the rest of my time on this earth. Like, and I don't want to think, oh, that day I was supposed to do this and I didn't do it. So, you know, I want to do it. I'm glad I feel good enough to look good, you know, while I'm going through, because that's the feeling I want. I don't want to, it's so hard. Like, everything is 10 times more with me. Like, a cold is like pneumonia. You know, a backache is like, the worst thing ever, you know. So it's just like, when I'm in the bed and I'm aching, no one could take on that, you know. I have to deal with that. I have to cry, you know, not be able to sleep. And you know, I choose not to have a guy, you know, going through this, because I don't want to die with someone like in love with me or anything like that. And it's like, some nights I be like, dang, I wish I had somebody to like hold me and like tell me like, Neisha, it's gonna be okay. It don't have to be no sex involved or anything, but it's just like, you still want normal stuff in life. But I know I can't even put that on me right now, because I won't only be hurting myself, I'll be hurting someone else. And to be honest, I don't want to have to worry about no one's heart being broken when I leave here, because that's what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to get everybody in order so that I can be happy to leave here and not worry about, is my sister okay? Is my grandma okay? Like, I want to set things right so I never have to worry about that. So love is not like, it's not there for me, like, because I don't want someone grieving me. Like, I want people to celebrate that I live in my purpose. And I just want good memories, because like I said, when I have those dreams of me dying, like, all I see is me reflecting. I don't see nobody in the hospital room with me. I see myself laying there reflecting on my life. And if I reflect good things from my life, then it'll make death a little bit easier, you know, because I'm blessed to be able to know around when I'm supposed to die. You know, if I don't get hit by a bus or some crazy girl come shoot me or something, but
some random shit.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a blessing kind of, because it's like me and my friend were talking about, like, when you go under with the anesthesia, like, you only remember what you were doing before you went under. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, it's nothing until you wake up. You know, you don't remember anything in between that time. You know, so it's just like, I want to leave with a good ass thought in my head, and that's all I remember. You know, if I don't have no mindset or anything after that, just let me leave, you know, knowing I serve my purpose, everybody's good, you know, everybody almost good, you know, just thoughts. People tell me, don't say that you're not going anywhere, but when I'm going somewhere, what the fuck y'all gonna say? You know what I'm saying? When I do die, how am I gonna make the memories? You know, you're trying to hold me back now by making me think, oh, I'm not gonna die, when it's educated educated ass doctors right here telling me what I'm going through. I know that there's God. God doesn't always step in. It's kids in Brenner's Children's Hospital dying every day. They ain't do nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
So don't give me that. Like that's no a miracle. If God performs a miracle, He performs a miracle. But I ain't sitting here begging God to do it, because at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, I don't want people to be mad at God because they're expecting Him to do something when me dying at this time is all in His plan.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it makes you think on so many different levels. Like, I question a lot of stuff going through this that I didn't. You know, I question my faith. I question what do I really believe in. You know, so it's just like a mental experience, really. You know, it's physical, it changes you physically, but it's more mental than anything. You know, I try to live outside of cancer every day. Like, I try to wake up and say, all right, no cancer today. Nobody's talking about cancer or nothing. Yeah. Hasn't worked yet. I feel like I'm getting close, but it hasn't worked yet. So,
I see the strides that you make. Mm-hmm. You know, like I told you off camera, I look for you every day.
Yeah.
Every day, Instagram, Facebook. You know, if I don't see you posting on Facebook, I'm a message you, like, yo.
Yeah, you good. Yeah.
So I see the progression as far as you not trying, but living outside of cancer. Mm-hmm. When you sit down and you talk about the mental aspect of it, like mentally on a daily, how do you hold up? Like, are you holding up good mentally, or is it just like, look, if I'm suffering, I'm not gonna say anything about it? You know, do you go about it like that?
I do. Okay. I wake up. I go through a lot, but okay. So on one end, I think I'm harder on myself than I should be, because a lot of times if I post one thing, I'll feel like I've been complaining so much. And so, right. And that's what people are like. I'll be like, I feel like I'm so negative on Facebook, and people will be like, because they'll come tell me, like, Neisha, you're so positive through this. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, I feel like I'll be so negative on Facebook. And it's like, one thought, me expressing myself, it just makes me feel so negative, you know? And people are like, even my counselor says, you're allowed, like, because when I come in, she's like, how are you? I'm like, I can't complain. She's like, actually, you can. You're here to complain to me, you know? So
you can complain.
Right, you know, and people are like, well, you have every right. And it's just like, I have the right to complain, but it's like, it's not helping anything, you know, for me. I mean, it helps me to release it. Mm-hmm. And I want people to know, like, when I'm on social media and I'm posting stuff all the time, I'm not thinking like, oh, let me write something that someone's gonna feel sorry for me about. I'm writing stuff as if I'm talking to people, like, in a conversation. Yeah. Like, I'm getting on, when I type, it's like me saying, hey y'all, let me tell y'all about this, what happened today. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, can I get a pity over here? Can I get a pity over there? No, it's like, let me tell y'all what the fuck this cancer is about. Like, that's what it is, you know? And I think people, because they're ignorant to the fact, you know, so a lot of things about cancer, they don't get it, you know? They're not in my shoes. They're, you know, I be wanting to save people's lives, but they don't listen, you know? But I also learned I can't be mad at people, because people try to do stuff to me before I got cancer. Like, my homegirl, when she realized my dad had cancer, she sold cancer insurance. She tried to sell me cancer insurance. What I say, girl, I ain't about to get no cancer. I don't need no cancer insurance. Here I am with cancer. So I have to look as well at myself and say, well, hey, Neisha, you didn't pick up, you know, when people were trying to throw this awareness out to you. Yeah. So you can't expect everybody to get what you're trying to give to them or whatever. So it's just like, man, one of those places is getting hard to forget.
That's okay. I'm good. So don't worry about that. I got you. So you talk about, you know, like, feeling like you're complaining.
Yeah.
But you're not complaining. Yeah. But you showed me something when you made the announcement about stage 4 cancer. Mm-hmm. I inboxed you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this ain't fair.
Yeah.
And I was crying.
Yeah, I love you. I know. And that hurts me more like when my guy friends cry.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
But the way you responded, though, it made Neisha Strong real for me. It was already real. I don't want you to think that I never looked at it as real. But the way you responded, you said, I know how you think I feel, basically. And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah. We hurting.
Yeah.
But you living.
Yeah.
Because when you did that crazy ass skydive shit, like, I said, wait a minute.
Man.
I need you to sit your ass down. Like,
everybody said that.
Right. But it was so refreshing and motivating. Because you did something that most people aren't going to do. I would never jump out of a plane. You know, maybe now.
I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you next time I go. Come with me.
And I'll probably come.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
But you know, you're not. You don't complain. You're giving us. You're pretty much letting us be on this journey with you, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you are our age. We don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now you're giving us an in-depth look. But you were doing this before cancer.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Boyfriends.
Right.
You
put it all out there.
If a nigga messing up, look, this nigga picture that I put up, he tripping.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? What made you be that type of person? Like you are, and I know you don't share everything with us, but you are an open book. Like, what made you be like that? I think that's so dope too.
Thank you. Well, like, for one, like I said, a village raised me. So it's not like just my family knows my story. You know, it's people like my friends' family know my story. You know, my ex-friends' family know my story. My ex-boyfriend's family know my story because it's like every family I get around, or if I get around people who I love, it's like I want that family connection. You know, I want that bond. Like when me and my ex were together, I love their family gatherings. I love doing stuff for Christmas, you know, because that was something that I didn't always get to do as a family, you know, because I had a hard, you know, I had a hard growing up. You know, my mom had to struggle to get us Christmas, and, you know, sometimes it was from strange people, you know, so it's just like, I've always been transparent. Like, I used to always speak in MAP classes. MAP classes are classes for people who want to adopt children. So I was always telling my story as a young girl, what I went through with foster care, because I was always trying to get these people to look into adopting teenagers, because it was so like nobody wants to adopt teenagers because they feel like they're already in their mindsets, you know, and all of this. So it was like, I was always telling my story for awareness, you know, for the, you know, the bigger picture, to help, you know. So, when I danced and when I escorted, you would hear rumors, you know, and it's always for me, like, you could come to me and ask me anything. Yeah. Why would you rather hear a rumor? I could tell you the story, and the story gonna be juicier than the rumor you just heard. Like, I'm gonna tell you some real shit, you know, I'm gonna tell you some crazy shit. You may not respect me after it, but I told you, and it's the truth, you know what I'm saying? So I came up from that because everybody want to be in your business. When you're well-known, I don't get any money from being well-known. I wish I did. But it's hood famous. You know, so when you're well-known, people see you in places you think they don't see you at. People know people who you think they don't know. My mom literally goes and tells every hood she gets drugs from shit about me. Like, y'all know Taneisha Gist? That's my daughter. So that leads to more shit and more shit and more shit and more shit. So it's just like, I rather you hear it from me.
Get it from the source. Because
so many people will try to put something on your name, not even for bad. You know, sometimes people just want to be known, and they want to feel like they know something about you. And if they connect with this person, and if they could tell this person something about you, then they in a clique, you know. And it's just like, some people will make up stuff about you. And I know this, and I know that one of my homegirls, messed with another guy who I messed with a long time ago, and she for the longest she thought me and the guy had sex because we used to talk, and she told another one of our friends, and it wasn't like any ill intent or anything, but she was like, yeah, we all smashed him, and I was like, I never smashed him. You know what I'm saying? It's like just that, you know, when you assume stuff, and I know how much people assume stuff, and just from there I'm like, we friends. We whole friends. You could never come to me and ask me if I smashed this guy. You just assume that I smashed this guy. Like, you know, and like I said, it was no ill intent, but it's just like you see people misconstrue stuff so much. And you see people who think, I don't like you because your friend doesn't like me. I'm not that type of person. Now, if you did something to my friend's children or something like that, or if you sleep with my friend's husband or something like that, that's different. But if y'all just got y'all petty differences, don't put me in it. You know, so it's just like, I've always been misunderstood. So I'm always here willing to tell you what's real, you know? And like I said, like you say, I'll put up with me and my dude going through, you know, or anything. Like if me and my family going through anything. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put up my fight because y'all sit here and be entertained when I talk about all this nonsense. So y'all gonna sit here and listen to me talk about my fight because that's what I'm going through. If I had a nigga going through the fight, y'all hear about the fight and a nigga. But I'm just going through the fight, so y'all just hearing about the fight. And when I get a boo, you'll know because you'll see something about him. But right now, my boo is healing from cancer. So I'm gonna tell it how it is because, like I said, who better to hear it from than the source? You know what I'm saying? The person, you know? So it's just like, I don't want my mental to be crazy from what people think of me. And so I put it out there. You know, like you could think, let me say, not what people think of me, what people speculate about me.
Yeah.
Once it's out there, you could think whatever you want to think because it's not going to change anything. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, it's me, you know, unless I'm hurting someone, but I don't care. Like, it's so many people that I come in contact with who has like a lot of money, people who I come in contact with who has a lot of wisdom, who I come in contact with who are so professional but have lived almost the same type of life as me. But they kept it a secret, you know what I'm saying? So I tell it because some people need that. You know, some people need to know like it's other people living like you. Like you don't have to be ashamed, you know, to be yourself. You don't And another reason is I wake up every morning crying about my life. I don't feel like crying about what nobody think about me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just being my true, genuine self. Like, I don't want to have to walk on eggshells for anybody to be my friend. I don't want to have to walk act a certain kind of way for people to support me. That's why I be on Facebook. Like, if you don't like with my OnlyFans, I tell people, I understand this is not the type of light some people want to see me in. So feel free to remove yourself from me. I don't feel like you hate me or anything, or I don't necessarily not want to be your friend anymore. Like, we're cool. Once this phase is gone, you can come back and support me how you want to. That's cool. Some people don't want to see me in that light. It's not hating. Some people hate, but some people just don't want to see me in that light. They don't want to see me have to do that, but they know that I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So when my main homegirls heard about it, they was like, people asking me about you and your OnlyFans. I'm like, do you know Neisha? Like, and that's where I'm like, do you know Neisha? Like, I'm gonna get it how I need to get it. Like, period. I ain't gonna rob nobody, but
I mean, since I met you, you've been getting it out the mud. Like, when the OnlyFans dropped, I'm like, yo, y'all can't say shit about her. Mm-hmm. Like, this ain't, if you know Neisha, you know she gonna get it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I attribute that to how you were brought up, not having. But also, it's like, when people do stuff for you sometimes, they ain't doing it out of love. They doing that shit out of notoriety.
Exactly.
And they may be trying to ride a wave, and you have to be careful about that, not to be exploited. You get what I'm saying? So when you did it, it was just like, yo, that's my sister, my nigga. Like, she gonna do her.
And you had my back.
Facts.
I had so many of my homeboys who subscribed just because they're my homeboys. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I ain't being naive. I know they probably wanted to see what I was working with, but I know the true intent was let me support my dog because she gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, period.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And like you said, that notoriety and that coattail, one of the main haters of my OnlyFans who decided to make a post about me being homeless through OnlyFans.
That dude, right?
That dude was my biggest fan. That dude used to sell my t-shirts. Used to wear my t-shirts and sell my t-shirts. That dude never gave me my money from the t-shirts that he sold. So for that dude to come and speak or post about me being homeless, which was a different type of homeless. I wasn't even homeless, technically. I didn't have a lease in my name. I left a place where the roof fell through. No, I don't want to keep a lease in my name here. And you know what? The OnlyFans money was the way where I could afford to stay in the Marriott every night. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you come at me, he came at me wrong because it was like, you think you about to embarrass me? Bruh, if we both was homeless in the same shoes, I'll out-hustle him any day.
Facts.
And that's what I don't like. I don't like people speaking on me when they don't know all the facts. I had this man blocked. This man had no reason thinking about it. This man had been blocked for 1.5 years from the money that you didn't pay me when you were a fan wearing my shirts. Then here you want to become a fan, turn cold, because you thinking you gonna embarrass me by saying I'm homeless when I already told the people I was homeless. When I already told the people I was homeless. No, that's where you don't cross me at. Because in my hustle, I don't wish no downfalls on nobody. Like, if I'm at the bottom, I'm supposed to die. If somebody got a house today, somebody get $1 million a day, somebody get a brand new job today, I'm still happy for them. Regardless of my situation, I'm still happy for them. So when people come at me like that, like, it goes to show people only deal with you for notoriety. Like, you was in my face wearing my shirts, selling my shirts and everything, like you was so supportive. But then I never did anything to you, never spoke to you or anything, and all of a sudden you out the blue making a post about me being homeless when you're a person who's supposed to help the homeless.
He's a goofy.
Yeah, goofy.
Like, we're just gonna call it what it is.
That's it. And I just had to get that out the way because I thought that was a low blow.
Thanks.
I thought it was a real low blow. And like I said, even when the other dude who was trying to pick up on it and talk about me, even when he got into his accident, so many people came in my inbox and was like, oh, such and such was just talking all that shit about you, and now you see what happened to them. I ain't say not one bad thing. I said, you know what? I pray God heal that man. And I posted it on my page like, God, I know this person messing with me, but please let them get through what they going through. Because I don't wish no evil on nobody. Like, for what? That's not going to get me ahead in any type of way. In any type of way. And like I said, a weak person they probably would have tried to kill themselves over some shit like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said, you don't prey on people when they down. Because you don't know their strength. I thank God for my strength. Because to be honest, it did hurt a little bit. But I knew in the back of my mind, I was still making money and I was able to take care of myself. So I knew it was a lie, but it's still like, watch what you do to people, because you never know what position they're already in to drive them. I say the second step, to drive them, jump off the second step. You know, like, so, you know, I put myself out there because it's people like that who lurking, who you think can't even see you because they blocked. But they lurking and trying to find some negative stuff about you. So I just put my stuff out there because people want to make up a story. You know, whatever story is going to get them some attention. So I put my story out there. And you could choose what part you want to mess around or whatever. Like, you know, I don't care. I really don't.
We ain't even going to dwell on that.
At all. At all. Because as we can see, we're sitting in my house, having a podcast, got a lease.
Man, you live.
God is good.
Yeah.
You know, I hope the same people keep a house too. So
definitely.
That's it.
So I'm not gonna hold you too much longer, but you know, I want to give you your flowers while you're here.
Thank you.
I tell you all the time I love you.
I love you too. And you do.
Yeah,
you do.
I mean that. You know, we hurting, but we walking with you.
Mm-hmm.
That I want you to know that, like, we here for you. I'm here for you.
Thank you.
If you need something, hit my inbox.
Yes.
if I can't do it, I'll send somebody to do it.
Yes. Yes.
But you're not alone. And, you know, you talked about your purpose a lot, and I want to end with that. What do you feel like your purpose is?
I feel like my purpose is to let people know that life is a struggle, you know, for some people. And however you have to get through, as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not creating any bad karma for yourself, like, don't be ashamed to go through trial and error with yourself, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to get you through your storms but you. Like, you know, you can have your faith in God. You know, of course, He is where our strength comes from. But as far as people here, like, I just feel like I'm here just to show people, like, it's no shame in survival. Like, whatever you have to do, however you have to be, you just have to get through. Like, and it's not always a prize at the finish line. You know, so it's so many people say, you know, it's in how you finish, and it's not. It's in how you're living, you know, because like I said, everybody doesn't make it to the finish line. You know, you have to be selfless. I feel like that I've shown people how to be selfless while I'm going through. My grandfather has stage 4 cancer. I'm helping take care of him. I'm still helping take care of my family. Like, it's just, I just feel like my purpose is to show strength in the struggle. Like, I don't feel like I've made it big. You know, like how I really feel like my life could have flourished, like, if I didn't have cancer. So I just feel like it's a purpose for me to let people know every day is a blessing. You can't put what you want out of it. You can't say that what you want your life to be like, it's not going to be that. It doesn't necessarily end up being what you thought your life is going to be. Yeah. So when your life changes, you just have to create the best with that change. You have to live in love. You have to support others. You just have to be selfless, because it's always someone going through something worse than you. It's always someone who needs encouragement. I just feel like God gave me a big mouth because He knew that I was going to tell people, like, really what the struggle is and really how you should try to get through. Just like I said, it may seem small to people, but I just think my purpose is to show people that the struggle is, like, real, and it's what you make it. You know, whatever hand you're dealt that hand, and you have to play the fuck out of it. Like, you gotta act like you got all those possibles. You know what I'm saying? You have to, like, you can't renege on shit, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta go for it. It's like a spades game, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta make sure your partner, you know what I'm saying, in it to win it, you know. It's just, it's a lot I think about. Like, I feel like I have a lot of purposes, but, like, the ultimate purpose is, like, it's strengthen your struggle, you know. You just gotta capitalize off of it. Don't pity yourself. Don't let people pity you. Like, this world is not for the weak. It's for the strong. Truly. And I think my purpose is also to spread love even when you don't get it. You know, like, I don't have anybody who I need to ask to forgive me. You know, them, you know, ask them, I mean, who I need to forgive before I leave here. I don't have any issues with people. But yeah, I know I got off with my purpose, but I feel like my purpose is a lot in whole, but the ultimate purpose, I just feel like it's just like, the struggle is real. You know, live your struggle, be comfortable in your struggle, never give up. You know, that's the only way you're gonna make it, is if you don't give up. And do it on your own terms, because at the end of the day, you have to die with you. Nobody gets to come with you. It's just you. So you gotta make your memories everything, because they come with you when you gone. They're the last thing you have when you gone. Before you leave, you gotta think of something before you leave, you know?
Yeah.
So think of all the dope shit you did in life. You know, how you help other people, how you didn't judge them, you know, how you get that unconditional love.
You doing all of this while fighting for your life. I commend you for that.
Thank you.
The support I see you give myself and other people, knowing what you're going through every day, that shit is remarkable.
Thank you.
And I want you to know you dope as hell for that.
Thank you. I
Like,
appreciate it.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Not only for you, but for people like me that love you.
I love you too.
Alright. I'm gonna end it because I'm about to get to
Don't cry, man. Look, my head's sweating so bad. I'm sitting here like, please don't cry. Please don't cry. Please don't cry.
Definitely, man.
Please don't cry.
Yo, what's up? This is Travis Bethay, and this has been another episode from the Anything Goes podcast, but it was taken over by my sister, Taneisha Gist. So, y'all remember, Neisha Strong forever. We out.
Neisha Team Strong.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.